is Mike Vieira. I'm an artist. I teach and I paint. I've been teaching for about 17 years now. I teach in different places in several different towns. I teach in Billerica with Colleen Scroy, and that's where I met Colin. I've taught there for, I don't know, 7 years now. It's been a while. I teach in Tingsboro, which I teach at the Council of Aging, the Senior Center, and I love them. They're like the best people, and they're so funny. I teach still life painting out of my studio once a week. People come in, they have a setup, they keep their setup here, and they work on it until they're finished. Recently, I've been doing classes in the Chelmsford Center for the Arts. I've taught in Westford. I've done like private classes out of people's homes. But teaching is what I love doing, and teaching doesn't feel like work to me. Teaching is kind of like, there's a give and take of energy, and I don't feel wiped out or exhausted because the people want to be there. So as a kid, I only spoke Portuguese, so I had to go. I started kindergarten a year late because I didn't have enough English to be, in school. So I watched a lot of Sesame Street, so I watched a lot of PBS, and of course I saw Bob Ross on there. And as a child, I would try to draw with a pencil along with what he's painting. And I felt his voice was very meditative.
Now I want these mountains to be far away, so I don't want them to get too big in proportion to the painting here, about like so.
And I liked watching the process of something materializing out of the blank canvas. So at really young, I just started drawing. My mother used to just buy like paper and crayons, and hours I'd just sit there and draw. But by the time I was in middle school, I think I was in 5th grade, I started taking oil painting lessons with a teacher that taught in public school, but he also taught out of his house. Once a week he had a bunch of people over in his basement, and we all painted from photographs and things like that. So I started oil painting really young, and I never gave it up. I just kept on going with it. There's a few people that have really inspired me to become an artist. Growing up, my parents divorced when I was in 3rd grade, so I didn't really have a male figure in my life. So I kind of latched on to other older males that I respected, and those would be art teachers. That's why I always get upset when I hear about a mean art teacher, and I'm like, they exist? That's horrible. They should be fired. They should be teaching math or something, Something not art, because art is supposed to be the most enjoyable subject. But there's two, Dan Gaudette, who actually lives in Lowell. I studied with him when I was in middle school, and he taught me quite a bit oil painting and how to handle the actual medium. And then Paul Ingebrigtsen, who is a pretty well-known painter in the Boston School painters kind of circle. He has a studio in Manchester, and I was an apprentice under him for 7 years. The best teachers are the ones that will teach you everything. They don't hold back. And they don't sugarcoat anything, and I really respect the ones that don't sugarcoat anything, because it's like, oh, it looks good, and you feel a little disappointed going, it really doesn't look good, there's something weird with it, I'd rather do art than anything else. Even if it made me a ton of money, I would still do art. And and the thing is, if I didn't have to worry about any kind of income or surviving, I would still be at the studio, I would still be battling paintings, I would still be pulling my hair out, trying to make things work. And I would still teach too, just because I love that, and you can't exist in a bubble. You need to kind of bounce things off of each other, and you learn from your students too. There's like I remember I saw one child doing a painting, and they did gray and yellow, and I'm like, ooh, I like those two colors. I'm totally gonna steal that. There's gonna be a painting with gray and yellow in it, and it's all because of you, Okay. I'm Michael Vieira, and I'm a fine artist. When the soul needs to be fed, art and music and poetry and beautiful things will kind of lift you up. I don't remember the original question, but